stream name is going to be, I spent what must have been a half hour trying to get this thing right, but I think I'm just going to have to change it every time. I've looked through every streaming platform that I use. I've looked into every setting on every streaming platform that I use, and it doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to change anything. And that's fine, because I'm still getting the message out there. I'm still able to talk to everybody and answer questions. So I'm thrilled to be able to do that and to get the opportunity to get to do that. And I'm grateful that I'm here with everybody right now. It means a whole lot to me that every time I press this button, we have wonderful conversations. We ask questions. We get answers. Hey, what's going on, Spider-Man? Glad to see you. I feel like every one of these streams starts with me saying, hello, Spider-Man. And to those who are uninitiated, that must sound absolutely insane. To those of you over on Instagram, I would love it if you popped on over to Twitch or YouTube. That's where I'll be able to see your comments for the most part. Oh, no sound. Is anyone able to hear me? Or is there no sound coming through? If that's the case, I mean, okay, no one in Twitch is telling me that okay, so that was just somebody over on Instagram. Everything's fine. Okay, we're good. We're back. We can hear you on Instagram. Okay, so that one person, not that you'd be able to hear me say, hey, your sound is off, but hey, your sound is off. Mike, there's something blocking the top of the camera. I don't see anything, so I think that's going to be on here. Okay, there's already so many issues coming. Instagram's telling me no sound again. I don't know what to do with that. I might just cut Instagram because Instagram cut me a while ago, and I'm fucking tired of Instagram. I really am. Not of the people who are there on Instagram, but the people over at Meta who do not give a single shit about the people who make their platform worth checking out. Touch your elbows together. Sacrifice the shirt to appease the tech gods. Well, so when you guys see my shirt off, usually the reason why is because I don't feel comfortable. I feel something not right about my body. I'm like, I'm just not feeling too good about myself at the moment. I'm feeling puffy. I'm feeling small, whatever it might be, because I go between being too big and too small. That's the danger of losing 110 pounds and getting in shape, is sometimes you're like, well, I'm too big now or I'm too small now, and it's either one. It's a pain in the ass. But so I will take my shirt off basically in just defiance of the way that I feel about myself and the way that I feel like I'm projecting out to the world, because I'm like, well, I'm going to eventually forget about the fact that I'm shirtless. I'm going to forget about what I'm doing in my day, and you know, it's a distraction technique. And then eventually I look down and I'm like, oh, wait a second, I'm shirtless. Okay, and the world didn't end. How great is that? So I think it's an exposure exercise, really. That's what it's going to be. But anyway, if anyone's got questions, anything that you're proud of, I would love to hear if you're proud of something in your week. You know, I like to start these streams out by hearing what it is that you've done this week that you're happy about doing. So let's get back to the Twitch comments and the YouTube comments, because those are the ones I'm able to see. Leah's here, my friendly oatmeal, Leah says. Absolutely. I know, this is not meant to be a bid to human sexuality, as I am perhaps the greatest example of the antithesis of human sexuality. And anyhow, hello, Mike. Hey, Amy Willow. Hi, I'm with my beloved partner and our friends for his birthday, so the volume is muted, but I thought I would drop in to say hi. Have a good stream. Hi, I don't know if you won't be able to see or hear anything, rather, but maybe you did hear something. So wonderful that you're here. Over on Instagram, I signed up for a Deca Strong event. What is that? Let me know what that is. I'd love to hear about it, but that's something that you're proud of. That's fantastic. My world's ascending to heaven over here with this site to behold. What awful things are being said in this chat. I'm proud of you doing the thing and taking your shirt off. Thank you, Cece Wild. Thank you very much. You're gnawing on the bars of your enclosure. Then I guess you need some, enrichment or stimulation, whatever the word is. I didn't hit my step goal today, and that's okay. That's something to be proud of, is the fact that you're okay with that. Some days it's not going to happen, and that's fine. You don't need to be upset about it. You don't need to be like, well, I didn't hit my proper goal today. It's like, okay, some extenuating circumstances came along. Perhaps those extenuating circumstances were up here, but the best thing you can do is figure out why it happened, and then tomorrow see if you can do a little bit better. That's all. Nothing big. Spartan event. The DECA is Spartan event with 10 zones to compete for time. Oh, geez. Okay. Good for you, bud. That's incredible. I would be crushed, possibly. You look great, Mike. I think you're very... Oh, thank you. I appreciate your opinion. What's up, Mike? How are you doing? I'm doing okay. I went for a workout today. I'm trying to get back into the gym. It's been a little while since I've been consistent. I've not gained a bunch of weight back or anything. I'm not getting, like, fluffy or anything like that. My eating habits are really solid, so it's... My diet, or rather my appetite, kind of went down with my activity level. And... so I've just kind of been maintaining, which is great. That's the victory. It's, I lost 110 pounds, but I'm most proud of keeping the weight off. And keeping the weight off is the thing I'm most proud of. I would have liked to have still been making muscle progress in that time, but progress just looks like staying right here for right now. But the gym finally called me back, not like physically, but, proverbially. It's like, come back. So now I'm going back. Rower kicked my butt yesterday. Just took a day to relax at home with the family. Yeah, you need to rest. We don't build muscle in motion, Sean. We build it at rest. So you did exactly the thing that you were supposed to do, which is wonderful. You look awesome. Thank you. You look awesome. Just getting back from a hike up Black Rock Mountain. Always proud of another summit. Are you posting these? I follow you on Instagram, Smitty. Are you posting these up there? Because if you have, I haven't seen them. I'd love to see pictures if you take any. What's the from Instagram? I'm popping over at Instagram for just a moment. What's the best thing to do after a bad day of eating? So, number one, don't try to make up for it. We don't earn food. It's not a matter of I need to make up for it. I need to try to work these calories off. You can't. You can't outrun, outpace, outwork out a bad day of eating. What you can do, however, is make the day before not matter. You just get back on your healthy habits. You get back on whatever it is that you were doing before that was working or that felt good. You don't have to make a whole bunch of accommodations for it. What matters is what you do most of the time. So long as you're doing something similar to what your goals require, most of the time you're going to be fine. And you're not going to feel it. Don't worry about it all that much. Now, that being said, in the couple of days preceding, I wouldn't get on the scale because it's basically like stepping on the scale holding a cup of water. That's going to be part of the equation. My knee's been bugging me. It took a week to recover. Well, see, what you did there was you prevented yourself from having to take a month to recover. Anytime I feel like I'm not feeling too good right now, I'll leave the gym after one set. If I'm like, I don't like what just happened to my shoulder over there, I'm turning around, I'm going home. Because I would rather miss a day than miss a month. Never tried the roller before. I'm scared to look like a dum-dum trying to figure it out. That's the best part, is you get to find out a new machine. And guess what? No one can criticize you. No one ever has, and no one ever will. The keyboard warriors will. They'll do it on their phones from somewhere else, but they're not going to talk to you specifically. No, I've never been approached at the gym for doing something wrong, unless it was somebody who was much bigger than me, being like, hey, let me just give you a quick little tip on how to do this a little bit better. And then they'll just like tell me to turn my fists in like that, and then suddenly I can hit the tricep a lot better than I could before. Is this a thirst trap, Adam? No, I am the furthest thing from a thirst trap. I'm a thirst deterrent. I'm like a dog whistle or something, but not to. Dog whistle's taken on a different approach these days, hasn't it? I stood in front of a full-length mirror for the first time in months. I know that sounds like a small thing, but for me it was huge. No, that's not small even slightly. Not even, there was a period of time where my mirror was completely covered. It was covered with a shirt. I didn't look at myself. And then there were times before that was a victory, just being able to turn the lights on, because I was showering in the dark for a long time. Some of you may know that that's the way I was. Yes. Jace, Adam is one of my friends. So, yeah, don't worry about that. Everything's all good. But yes, anyhow, I gotta pull something up really quick. Let me see if I can find this, because I would love to share this with you if I am able to find it. Do I have it? It might be on my other laptop. I'll find it later. But yes, Perezi, Adam is a good friend. I appreciate him a whole lot. Where do we keep going? Hey, Mike, my sister got me the Frop coin purse from Naruto. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like you like it, and I'm glad that you have it. It's wonderful. I like to help folks in the gym with the rower technique. I use the row on the water. You're going to have to show me, Smitty. Do it dumbly. I like that. That's a new quote. Bailey, take that. Post it somewhere. Take it before I take it. So I'm not going to take it from you. First of all, okay, no, I got it. I was so happy when I made my first gym friend. I've yet to make a gym friend yet, which would be wonderful if I got to. So if anybody is at the Planet Fitness in Dallas, come hang out with me. It would be great. Let's keep it up. There's frog purse. Okay, that makes sense. Have a good one, Smitty. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you were. Oh, snap. Mike shirtless today. Did he announce Mike only needs a fan? No, though it seems like if things are going the way that they're going algorithmically much longer, I may have to. So, good day from New Zealand. Hi there. Hope you're doing well. I'm taking ongoing and necessary medications for mental health reasons that have side effects including enhanced appetite and weight gain. Okay, it seems like that there was supposed to be more to that comment, so I will get back. Oh, there it is. Full comment didn't post. Any advice for trying to lose weight consistently with medication in mind, essentially? So there are plenty of medications that affect hormones, especially, I think you had said before that, yeah, for mental health reasons, that are just going to mess with all sorts of dumb hormones and make us more prone to holding on to a little bit more weight. My first recommendation would be to talk to your doctor about getting that adjusted a little bit. Just be like, hey, I don't like how this is affecting me positively. If it's a matter of like it's just been a few weeks, then maybe you just need time to adjust to it. But anything that comes to medication, definitely run it by your doctor, not your influencer. Super important distinction to make there. I know that everyone online who has an Instagram account is now a doctor, but I will never claim to be. That all being said, you're never going to hurt from moving a little bit more. You're never going to hurt from getting a good amount of protein or trying to get your fiber in check. Those can always help. I'll be your gym friend. I'm at a Planet Fitness in Massachusetts. Oh, I used to be in Jersey, so we were not close. It's like 5 hours. But now that I'm here, like in terms of like where I currently am, like on the internet where I don't know anybody and I have no friends where I currently am, I'm like, oh, somebody's 5 hours away. Like my friend Scotty, he's 5 hours away. And I'm going to go see him soon. You guys know Scotty. I'm talking about Scotty like no one knows him. Like he's not the biggest deal in the whole world right now. He's 5 hours away. And we're like, well, when are we hanging out? My friend Chris Terrell's up in Arkansas. He's about 7 hours away. And I'm like, we're making plans to hang out. I just got to see him last weekend. Cheers, Mike. I will take it up with my professional and aim to get my basics going as well as possible. Yes, just let that professional know that, like, hey, I've got these other goals as well, and if there's anything else that you could offer to me or, you know, some other plans that make this a little bit more accessible to me, just let me know. And they'll work with you. moving. Psh, I sit in this chair all day, but well, let's do something about it. Everybody, let's get up and do something right now. You've all got time. I don't think any of you are too busy that you can't do something right now. What is it? Are we just going to get up, or we don't have to go for a big run? We don't have to go for a lot of exercise, or have a gym session right now. With my one-on-one clients, about halfway through our sessions together, we will get up for about 5 minutes and just get the blood flowing, get moving a little bit. I'm babysitting. I'm exhausted. Okay, Emmy, I'm going to challenge you right now to just take a lap. That's all. I know you can do that, because at a certain point you're going to have to go to the bathroom tonight, and that's going to require a lap from you. Unless, of course, you're willing to sit in it, which I don't think you are. So let's do it, everybody. I made it. And this goes out to Sean. This goes out to Bailey. This goes out to Adam, who deserves all the laps, because, man, what a stand-up fella right there. All of you could only be so blessed to have somebody that awesome with you at your job, at a job that was real awful for me, at a time that was even more awful for me, that I never spoke about while I was there at my job, unless things became dire. There were a couple of situations where I was like, I don't know where I'm going to live tomorrow. And workplaces don't take well to that, because they're like, well, are you going to be at work tomorrow? Like, I don't know if I'm going to be alive tomorrow at this point. So if you want somebody manning the station, you're going to have to work with me a little bit. So, and Adam was a tireless advocate for not just me, but everybody at that workplace. So cheers to you, Adam. I appreciate you tremendously. Oh, you would drive 5 hours to be with me. What a wonderful thing. A mic hangout sounds quite healing. Well, I'm working on possibly doing some kind of Texas thing, because I think we've got a bunch of people in Texas or around Texas that could do it. Okay, everyone within the sound of my voice, we're going to do something right now. I don't know what that is for you, but in the next minute, I'm going to lose everybody on Instagram. Because the Instagram people, we've got 5-second attention spans. I completely get it. I don't blame you. But so I'm going to take this moment to say, hey, Instagram, if you want to pop on over to Twitch or YouTube, we would love to have you here. So I'll definitely be able to see your comments over there. I can't always see them over here because I get the join notifications. I am going to do a set of push-ups, and I'm not going to do much of anything else. I'm just going to get up and do my push-ups, and that'll be that. All of you, I'm challenging you right now, because when we get back here in about a minute, I would like to have a conversation about what little movement we did. And I've got a little twist for you on it. So let's do it. Watch it. Oh, God. Okay. That's it. We're good. I'm a little bit out of breath. Maybe I did more than just like a little thing. I did a lot of a thing. Ever since I'm going to bench press the 10-month-old. I owe you some. I just started dinner. I know you'll get to it, Adam. You're all good. Just kidding. You thought you were going to get off the hook that easy? Take a lap around the kitchen island. When I'm making dinner, when I put something, on the burner, I'll do laps around my kitchen island just to move around a little bit. When I've got something in the microwave, I've got nothing else going on for a minute. And if there are things that I need that minute of microwave time to go and handle, I'm overbooked, and I need to scale it back a little bit. It doesn't have to be much. It hardly has to be anything. Just going and doing something is all we need to do. That's the difference between, I think, gaining and maintaining, really. It's not a whole lot of anything else. It's just like, I'm going to get up and move a little bit from time to time. I don't even really get my steps in anymore, because it's unreasonable to be outside in Texas for any length of time. My nose touched the ground, and my cats are in here. Oh, terrible. So, it doesn't take much. It really doesn't to tip the scales, literally and figuratively. There's no blood in my brain anymore. It's gone through the rest of my body. As expected, there's no one watching on Instagram anymore. They've all left. But you guys are here because you guys are cool. This is very interesting. Let's keep on keeping on. Well done, everyone. Where you can't put an 80%, put 20%. That was 100% right there, Bailey. When you go and do some laps around your kitchen island when you got something in the microwave, that's 100% of what you could do in that moment. It's not like an exception. It's not like I'm settling for this. I'm getting some movement in. That's all. And that's 100% of what you would be able to do in that moment, realistically. Because right now, I said, let's go for a minute. You can't go and do a gym session in that period of time. Critical says, I just walked around and cleaned up my niece's face. She's pretty sick right now. Aw. Well, first off, good on you for doing something for you, and good on you for doing something for her. Very nice. Hey, that baby was heavy. Of course, 10-month-olds are not easy to move around. That's why I've elected not to have any. Me, when I complain to my secretary that bathroom time is overlapping with microwave time. Leah says, I have to stay consistent but not overdo it because the stress and muscles, etc., my neuro stuff flares up and can paralyze me / induce seizures. I have a heart condition myself, and my body comes with a whole set of fucked up instructions. It's really rough living in a chronically ill body, and I'm sure your set of instructions is also quite horrifying. So you have all of my condolences and my empathy. Anthony Changes, you moved here from Instagram. Wonderful. By the way, I like that name. That's my middle name, Anthony. I also finished One Piece from the beginning. Jesus Christ, that was on when I was a kid. I'm 30 now. How many episodes did you have to watch? That's time commitment right there. You know what you could have done? You could have been watching that from the treadmill, or if you're watching it from your phone, like everybody is these days, you can. My kitchen island. I'm never going to move to an apartment that doesn't have a kitchen island ever again, or at least a place where I can like do laps around a table or something. Because that thing, I'm gonna wear track marks in the floor from how much I walk around that thing. And if you guys are like, well, how do you do it? How do you keep your weight off? How do you stay consistent? This is how. I'm just like, I love it. That might have something to do with the fact that I'm basically just a grown autistic child. So I'm entertained by stuff of that nature. But, yeah, wow. You watched it all in that minute. Oh, jeez. that's you'd have to speed that up a whole lot in that minute. I was just talking about you today with the chemical video that really cheers me up. Oh, the one I posted a few days ago where I'm like, hey, fear-mongers, do you chew your food? People who are afraid of ultra-processed foods, trying to make everybody else afraid of ultra-processed foods. Guess what? That's processing food. My brother in Christ. When you chew food, it's being processed. Well, it's the chemicals, bro. You know the ultra-processed food is a chemical. Okay, then name a chemical. Name one of the chemicals. Seed oils. Okay, name a seed oil. The other day I posted, I said, okay, if you're afraid of seed oils, don't Google, name 3 seed oils. And the guy, I forget what he said, but he was like, he said grape. As in grape seed oil. And I'm like, my dude, please don't tell me that you think grape seed oil, like the grape seed oil is grapes. And I forget how it went from there, but it was like they don't know what they're afraid of. They have absolutely no idea. And then, you can mention all sorts of, just because something's hard to read doesn't mean it's hard to understand. You just have to learn what it is. That's all. Yeah, if you look at the chemical makeup of a banana and you look into it, it's like, well, what does this mean? But it's a fucking banana. It's no one's gonna. There are people that are gonna tell you that bananas are evil. There are people right now that are saying that oxygen is evil. Lane Norton just posted the other day. He talked about, that people are finally afraid of oxygen and talking about it as something like evil for weight loss. Absolute insanity. Absolute insanity. Summer and I had a good life at that one. It's a good balance of information and entertainment. Well, I'm glad. I'm happy because those are the the ones where I get a little bit spicy. I'm always nervous. Like, I know people are here for the chill kindness, but I think part of being kind is shitting on the people who are being very unkind and aren't willing to budge. Simply devour the unprocessed foods are giving people more parasites. Yes, they are. Simply devour your foods raw and whole like a snake. We're biologically related to snakes, so we can do the same stuff they can. To spoil the joke here, King Edward, when it hits, if you were to swallow all of your food whole and raw, your stomach acids will then process the food into something that you can use. Usually when people are afraid of ultra-processed foods, they don't really know what they're afraid of. It's just this sort of, like, vague boogeyman that seems like something that they should be angry about. But, like, I'm paying more attention to my health than any of them are, and I love Oreos. There's a place I'm going to next weekend specifically to get this big, delicious slice of cheesecake. I was supposed to get it this weekend, but we're sick, so we don't want to spread that to anybody. I don't know if you saw, but my calves are becoming defined and solid, which has never happened. Well, that's awesome. Good for you. Wonderful. Mike, what's a good tip for not being a fast eater? Oh, okay, Adam, we gotta. Yeah, this is something I'm dealing with to this very day. I used it to do this as a kid to avoid eating foods I didn't like. However, I wasn't allowed to leave the table until I did. Oh, so we're recovering from food trauma triple whammy right here. We've got a whole bunch of stuff. Eating the foods you didn't like, not being allowed to leave the table, without having a clean plate and eating as fast as possible. So this is something that I still, to this very day, deal with, especially as somebody on the spectrum. It's common. It's very common that we're not chewing and we're just swallowing very quickly. So I've had to really work on this consciously, and it's something that it doesn't come easy to me because I can eat my food very quickly if I want to. I'm very good at it, but I don't want to anymore because it messes with my hunger signals. I end up eating more because I'm eating faster, and I'm not giving my body time to let me know, like, hey, we don't need this much, actually. We're not there. So sometimes I'll have my plate in front of me, and like I've actually got a plate right here from when I was eating lunch. So I'll have a plate right here, and then in between me and the plate is my water. So I can, go around to get it. I got to move my water, and then I'll move this back. Now the first thing in front of me is my water. I do that at restaurants constantly. If ever one of you eats with me at a restaurant, you will see that my drink is in front of my plate most of the time because it slows me down. Otherwise, I'm going to demolish the whole thing super quickly, and I'm not going to get to enjoy it all that much. That all being said, I will put my fork down between bites. So I will take a bite. Sometimes I'm not perfect. I'm going back for another one. Sometimes I'm like, shit, hold on. Put it down. And I'll just sit with it for a little bit. I'm usually watching something on my phone, so I'll get the benefit of chewing and distracting my mind with something else. Because when we're eating that quickly, it's not because we're hungry. It's because we want the stimulation of good food or a good tasting food, or we just like the fact that eating quickly feels good for whatever reason. I don't know why. I am going to shut down the Instagram stream because it doesn't look like anybody's over here. So if you are over here, I would implore you to come over to Twitch or YouTube. You can find me at Mike Needs a Plan on either one. Be kind to yourself. Okay, Instagram stream is over, so I can safely say, fuck you, Meta. And Mark Zuckerberg and Adam Mosseri, you pieces of shit. Shit in each other's mouths. Anyway, respectfully. I put my food down. That really brought my speed down. I used to hate when people say just put it down, but it really helped me. Oh, I hate it too. I don't like it. It's something I have to do like very consciously. I'm like, I don't want to because I like the feeling of eating a lot very quickly. It's a problem. There were times back in my day, you guys have heard me talk about the pizza burrito story. I used to stuff that shit down like Joey Chestnut at a Nathan's hot dog competition. There was just something primal about the fact that I was chewing and eating so much so quickly that felt good. But then afterwards, I wouldn't feel very good. So I was like, well, maybe I can start to associate this feeling of eating fast with feeling awful. And I think that's going to require slowing down a little bit. And that was one of my first primordial steps in trying to get a hold of my hunger signals. Oh, I've got a win. 1-for-1 replacement. I like these. Struggled with sweets cravings last week, so I baked a new recipe for apple cinnamon protein cake, and they're pretty good. Had 5 servings prepped and ready to go. 220 calories and 20 grams of protein. You got to share this in the food section of the Discord page. By the way, if you guys are not in the Discord page, or stream page, website, what is Discord? What? I don't. It's a server. It's a server, everybody. Yeah, Sean, that sounds fantastic. You got to share that or share a picture of it at least. I would love to see it. Zach Cohen. Okay, you got that from Zach Cohen. Yeah, then you can just share the link. That'd be awesome. Tiny.cc/Mike weight loss. I keep forgetting that we have that link that Kurt made. Must be almost at least a year ago at this point, because you were one of my day ones. I think you were one of my founding members back in the day. So, by the way, you'll get to hang out with me. You'll get to hang out with King Edward. You get to hang out with Sean. I think Bailey's in there from time to time. And Kurt, I think I mentioned Kurt already. At least a year ago. Yeah, for sure, because I think you were around before I opened it, possibly. That's crazy that we've been around doing this for a year and that you're already, I think you lapped Fit Guy day 365, if I'm not mistaken. I think you might have made a whole year as Fit Guy, which is insane because I remember you being Fat Guy. It's great. I've been around here for so long. I've gotten to see so much progress. I've now seen people change their whole lives around. Like that year passed and they did a whole lot with it, which is just such a blessing to get to see that. When it comes to hot pot, I can put the protein away. Oh, it's because it's delicious. Because it's great, but the protein will help you slow down. You eat a whole bunch. Today's 3:59. Oh, we're getting to be almost at your anniversary there. We're gonna have to do something to celebrate. I don't know what it'll be, but and you got approved for your loose skin surgery. I know that was a little bit tenuous for a bit there. I'd seen your one video where you talked about going back and forth with the doctor. So wow. See, this is what I'm talking about. When I met Kurt, he was still calling himself a fat guy. That was, and he's been doing this now for a while to the point where he's about to lap Fit Guy year 2. So wow, what incredible things we get to see and do here. Sir, set up WiseBot and set up the bot can pop up with links when you insert commands. Let me put that into my WiseBot. Okay. I've got that in my this thing now. So whatever, my other screen is where I have it. So I'll remember to look that up later. Everybody, let me know where you were last year and let me know where you are now. What has changed? Because maybe this week doesn't feel like there's been much of a change because it's not supposed to. And progress doesn't feel like progress while it's progressing. You've heard me say that before. So when you look back at last year, what did it look like? What was your life like? What was your process like? What was your routine like? I can tell you, for me personally, I was not in the greatest headspace. I was getting there, but I was still in a place that I did not enjoy living in a situation I did not enjoy being in. I had just gotten out of a job that was really not serving me very well. So I wasn't making money at all. When I left my job to do this full time, it was more so like, this thing looks promising. Maybe I can turn it into a career, and if not, it seems like they desperately wanted me to come back if I was willing to. They tried really hard to get me not to leave, which is interesting because up until that point, it seemed like they didn't want me. So funny how that works out. But I'm like, yeah, if in 3 or 4 months this doesn't work out, then whatever, I'll just go back. It wasn't a job that I had wanted. It was just paying my bills. But this is something that I wanted, what I'm doing now, and I figured if I just give it the time it deserves to blossom and become something good, maybe I can make something of this. Because the life I was living before, it wasn't it. Adam can tell you, it just simply was not the case. So, just looking back at that year, so I've built a business. I'm not making much money at all. I'm basically making just a bit more than I was at my old job, which is awesome. But I'm not rich from this. I never will be. I don't intend to be, and there's no path to where that is going to happen. I don't want to be, because it's slimy. To be rich, you got to take advantage of people and give them something less than. And I'm just not willing to be in that boat. But I'm paying my bills. I'm paying my way here, and I'm not scared anymore for a variety of reasons. There was a lot of fear in my old life. There was a lot of upset and disrespect and pain and shame and loneliness. And I don't have any of that anymore. I've got a little bit of uncertainty and fear and stuff, but it's like looking back, I was just like, the summer of last year, there was a solid shot. You guys have heard me say this before. There was a solid shot that I just wasn't going to be here anymore. And if things didn't go exactly right as they did when they did, you wouldn't know me right now. Adam would have known me, but he would have seen me as a headline at that point. But look at what happened, because I stuck around. Talked about my feelings. Shared things that upset me, and shared the things that made me proud. There's a lot to be proud of in a year. If you look at it week by week, like I said before, you're not going to find a whole lot of stuff to be proud of. That's why I'm always pushing to be like, what are you proud of this week? Because I want to get you used to saying something that you're proud of every week, so that you can start to become accustomed to being proud of things as they happen slowly, to where you're not just looking at these big milestone achievements and saying, okay, now that I've lost 100 pounds, I can be proud of myself. Now that I've lost 200 pounds, there are people who have 200 pounds to lose, and they won't be happy until they've lost every single one of them. And then they do that, and they're like, okay, well, I got the one victory that I was gunning for. What now? I lost my 110, and I was devastated. There was nothing for me at the other end. There was no prize at the bottom of that box. It was just more fucking depression. I've had to learn how to be proud of myself in that period of time, and that's why I teach things the way that I do. It's why I talk about things the way that I talk about things. because I lived it, and I don't want you to have to live it that way. I started not walking again. However, some stuff has gone on that I can't legally discuss. Oh, yeah, they begged me to stay. Oh, yeah, of course they did, because you were the best. You worked more than anybody there. And, yeah, we had some great conversations as we froze our asses off. Me and Adam, we were data specialists at a meal prep warehouse. So we were in a freezer. We didn't touch the food, but, we typed the data. We arguably had something worse to do with our fingers because we had to type, and it was very hard to type after a certain point. So we would have to sneak out to go and run our hands under hot water to try to revive them. And we would spend 8 hours. I almost said 8-hour shifts. We weren't doing 8-hour shifts. We were working way more than that because the company was dying. I'm surprised I haven't heard that they've shut down at this point. That's where I found out that the USDA doesn't mean anything. Because I would see the USDA walk into that place with these fucking dorks with these giant hard hats on, like they'd never gotten them sized. Like, hey, what size hard hat do you need? Do you have a dark helmet sized construction hat that I could wear? Possibly. Do you have something that like maybe would cover the entirety of my neck? I'm trying to look like a bobblehead as I walk into this freezer. Could you get me with that size, please? What size would you put on Mickey Mouse if he were working at the USDA? Bring me that hard hat. And they would come in, they would be standing in a big group of people that each made 6 figures for doing goddamn nothing, and then they would leave 2 or 3 minutes later. That's all. That's what USDA, whenever you see USDA, that's what it's not any safer. It's not any better. I saw it myself. Maybe they were just lazy and the USDA is better elsewhere. But at that warehouse, for sure they weren't. They weren't checking on the safety of anything. In fact, it was me and Adam checking on the safety of stuff. And when we tried to check on the safety of these things, we were told to just keep working. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Doesn't matter that allergens are being mixed and not being marked properly. Don't worry about it. Just get on back there. If we see a problem, we'll let you know. No, an unmarked shellfish allergen is deadly. I'm not willing to be quiet about that. So I started making paper trails. Every time anyone would have a conversation with me, it would be an email, and I would tag everybody in the company, and I'd send it out to, and this is what we talked about today, and this is what this person said, and this is what I said in response to them, and this is the problem that I've been trying to bring up for several months that has still not been brought up yet, even though I was told that it would be. This is a problem that could endanger the lives of our customers. And they fucking hated that. Every time they'd be like, they'd bring me to the side and they'd be like, hey, could we please not talk about that anymore? Like, you don't have to tag everyone in the company when you send out an email. And then I'd get back to my desk and be like, so this is the conversation that I just had. This is what I'm a fucking corporate nightmare. I'm a goddamn mess. Do not hire me, because I will make your life hell. If you're crooked. When you have people who are simple, they can be distracted. Mike, I want to be a civil service career. This hurts my feelings. Hey, if you want to change it from the inside, you go ahead and do it. I mean, we need people who give a shit about what they're doing. So if you want to go in there and not just collect a paycheck and go home and like actually walk the floor and check stuff and see that, hey, but if you want to do civil service like that, talk to the people who are working. Don't talk to the managers. Don't talk to the supervisors. They don't work. Talk to the people on the floor. Talk to people like Adam or myself who are doing the job every day and can tell you, hey, this is something that you might want to be aware of, USDA. This is something that could lead to a lawsuit or loss of life if this is not addressed and the people above us are not paying any mind to it. Those are the people that you talk to. If you're in civil service and you're in any position of authority to have some kind of bearing or change over that, do it. That's how you can be a proper civil servant. A year ago, I tore my ACL and was told I was too fat for surgery and would have to learn to live without it through PT. My GP told me I'll never lose the weight alone and told me I have the gastric sleeve. I'm just going to say it. Fuck the gastric sleeve. I don't see there being a reason for it ever. Ever. You want to look into medical intervention? Ozempic. And you guys know how I feel about the GLP-1s. The gastric sleeve is barbaric. I've never spoken to anyone who's gotten it that's like, I am so happy I got this gastric sleeve. I've never heard a positive story about it. I've heard people get it and keep the weight off. But for the most part, everyone that I've spoken to who's gotten the gastric sleeve has been like, I wish I didn't let them mutilate me. I wish I did not let them go into my body and take a vital part of my body out that I can easily surpass with bad habits. You can gain all the weight back with the gastric sleeve. You know what you can't get back? The part of your stomach they removed. You don't get that back. You can gain 200 pounds back with a shrunken stomach. It happens all the time. The recidivism rate is huge. The gastric sleeve is insane. Since then, I've lost 22 pounds on my own, fought for the surgery, I'm back to walking again, and have been given the all clear to start at the gym. Oh, and I didn't gain any of the weight back while I was sedentary. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, and fuck those doctors who tried to tell you to do something otherwise. Look at you. Look at what you did. Wow. You're not going to be too heavy to get that surgery for long, the ACL. You're going to get back in there. I would speak to a different doctor, of course. I wouldn't go back to that doctor. But there are some legitimate concerns about getting surgery when you are heavier in terms of things that would require your recovery, because your mobility is already limited and what you're able to do in terms of physical therapy is limited. But you're doing it. I'm glad that you got the physical therapy. That's awesome. Super helpful. It seems like it's being super helpful to you. It seems like this right here, the mindset, is working for you, which is awesome. God, what a great thing. That just made my night. Thank you. Oh yeah, of course my job would be to hold people accountable. I love being a narc. Just understand when you get in there, just like when good people sign up to be cops, they get in and they find out like, oh, this isn't about fighting crime or anything. We're just criminalizing people. That's all. We're just padding the municipal budget. And then you've got people who try to call it out, and then the other cops are like, well, you either conform or we kick you out. So, play your cards careful there. I wish I could do this, but it's just too expensive. So these streams and your social media posts will have to do. Oh yeah, that's why I try to offer as much value here as I can. There are people who will never work with. Most of the people following me will never work with me one-on-one, ever. And that's fine. I'm here to cheer people on if they need it and to help them if they need that. It's whatever your needs are, I've got it. I don't hide anything behind a paywall or anything. But, what I do when I work with people is I act as a strategist. Like, there's no magic weight loss secret behind the curtain. It's just like, okay, well, now I get to hear your specific problems and your specific needs, and we together can work on a strategy for you. That being said, I try to put as much information out there on the internet as I can so that you can build your own plan, as it were. So that's the difference. That's all. You're not missing anything other than just having somebody to work with one-on-one. It's not like, you pay for the secret and then I give you like, okay, well, this is the actual thing. It's not that. So don't worry about it. You're not missing anything. Exactly. I had troubles with that too. I have fatty liver and I asked what could be done. She looked me up and down and said that. Ooh. Bring back capital punishment. I know a lot of people who have gotten the sleeve or bypass, and 1 out of 10 has not reverted. Yeah, it's a ton of them where it's like it happens. It works from time to time, but that one that it works for, Kurt, what ends up being the difference between that one and the other 9? And I know you can. I don't want to even spoil it because I'm sure you're going to say it right here in the chat. What is the difference of that one person who succeeds over the other 9, hypothetically? I'm sure the numbers are a little bit different, but it's going to be more regain than people who keep it off. That one has a lifestyle change and makes meaningful changes. Yeah, that's it. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean the other 9 were lazy. It meant that they were usually misled. They weren't told by their doctor to make lifestyle changes. They were just told, hey, you're fat. Let me cut out your stomach and you'll get not fat anymore. Okay, well, what do I do after that? Don't worry about it, what to do after that. Just give us the money. Give us that 5-figure sum because your thing's probably not going to cover it. Your insurance probably won't cover it. So you're going to have to. And, just give us the money and get on out of here. Don't worry about it. And those people aren't going to succeed, not because they're lazy or because they're unmotivated or they couldn't do it, but because they were not set up for success. They weren't told that they have to make lifestyle changes. In fact, with all of these things that are administered, these miracle cures that are administered, same with the GLP-1 medications, the Wegovy and the Mounjaro and the Trazepine, everything. I think I said Wegovy, all of it. They're not told that they too have to make lifestyle changes that go along with it. Those injections can be the catalyst that starts somebody on their weight loss journey when they really do need it. I'm not against it in every case. I'm against it in just like, here, use my affiliate code and you don't have to go through a consultation with a doctor and you can just get it online from somebody who has no idea what they're prescribing. You know? That's where I have the problem. What's up? King Nick 007. Hey, what's going on? Flex. Nothing much, just chilling in my bed. Okay. It's because you aren't addressing the real issue, your relationship with food. Yeah, that's the real issue. That's what it is. It's the same reason that crash diets don't work. It's the same reason that carnivore is not going to work. It was, first of all, because it just fucking sucks. You're going to fall off of it. But like in terms of crash diets specifically, you're just using it as a course of treatment temporarily, and then afterwards you just go back to exactly what you were doing before. And nothing meaningful changes. I asked my doctor what they're going to do when they have to actually treat me. Oh. Sean says, I asked my doctor what they're going to do when they have to actually treat me and not just tell me to lose weight. I would go home and, like, kill myself if I was your doctor at that point. I'd be like, what? How do you recover from that? Wow. Good for you. Taking your health into your own hands right there and telling lazy doctors to shove it. That's incredible. Same as injections, pay everything you have, and it'll burn your fat, but it won't help you keep it. Oh, yeah, so long as you stay on it forever, you'll get a paralyzed digestive system, and you'll be skinny. Not in shape or looking terribly good, but, you know, it's more so a matter of, like, are we building anything that's going to stick around? I see more success with the GLP-1s than with the operations. But, well, yeah, because see, like, if you're thinking about the gastrics, if you just have to go with medical intervention, then definitely try the shots first before you go in and permanently change your body. At least you can stop using the GLP-1s. It's way less invasive. It's much easier to deal with. There's no recovery time. I mean, you know, unless, of course, your digestive system shuts down. I told you hit 3.9K followers yesterday on Twitch. Incredible. Wow. Very cool. What do you do? What do you stream? I told my doctor I was struggling with binge eating. He told me that the sleeve will stop that. Like, no, dumbass, I'll just stretch it out again. I recorded a video today. You guys want to see You want to see a preview of a video I'm about to post? I've not shared this yet. But I'll share you the video. I think I might post it tomorrow or maybe Tuesday. I'm not sure yet. So this is these are my thoughts. I've been trying to figure out, like, how do I voice my thoughts on Ozempic, because I've got some thoughts, and it's every time I criticize Ozempic, everyone's always like, you can't criticize people who are on it. I'm like, I'm not. I'm never criticizing anybody who's on Ozempic. I'm never criticizing anyone who chooses it. I'm always criticizing the people that are selling it online and are not doctors. Those are always the people that I'm criticizing. It's never like, I think you're lazy or I think you're taking the easy way out or anything. I think we're not giving enough information about it. Doctors are not giving enough information about it. They're just prescribing it very lackadaisically, and they're not taking into account the very real needs of the people who come to them asking about these medications. Their needs are being completely ignored in favor of a needle that they make money from. So this is how I truly feel about Ozempic.
Ozempic wouldn't even work for you. Think about it. It's just a medical appetite suppressant. That's all it is. But when you're finishing what's left of a large pizza you ordered after eating McDonald's twice in a day, is hunger even a factor for you at that point? Because it wasn't for me at 265 pounds. I ate whether I was hungry or not. I would have eaten straight through Ozempic, Wegovy, anything you threw or injected at me. It's not ghrelin. It's not leptin. It's another secret hormone that we're ignoring. Emotion. A stuffed mouth is not one with nothing to say. Be kind to yourself.
You just got behind the scenes access, King Edward. Absolutely. Katie, hey, what's going on? Glad to see. I have learned the hard way over many, many years of yo-yo dieting. Oh, yeah. That's all of us right here. We've all learned the same way. But, yeah, it's... That's really how I feel. It's like, if I were to be put on Ozempic back in my day, I would have eaten right through that shit. Guaranteed. Hunger was not a factor in my overeating. It wasn't that I was insatiably hungry, and I think a lot of the people that come to me or mention in my comments, like, I don't know how to stop my hunger, you're not hungry. I was sick to my stomach constantly. I was shoving food into, like, just... You know when you don't want to take out the trash, so you just like start pushing the trash down further and further and compacting it into the thing to the point where when it's time to finally take it out, you got to like put your foot on the can so you can pull the bag out. Like, that's what I did with food. That's how I ate for a long time. It was not about hunger. It wasn't, I'm so hungry that I can't stop eating. It was, I'm so sad that I can't stop turning to things to try to solve it. That's what it was for me. I would have eaten straight the fuck through Ozempic. Guaranteed. I would have gained all sorts of weight on Ozempic, but I just would have felt worse in that period of time. You stream mostly gaming and VR. Oh, cool. I'm going to have to check that out. But yeah, not to open a whole other can of worms. Oh, please. We're finally off of Instagram, so this is Mike After Hours now. Not to open up a whole other can of worms, but when I was looking into last year, my insurance denied Ozempic, but approved a $20,000 gastric surgery. I just never followed through on it. So nowadays, that would be a little bit different. Back in the day, last year is not back in the day. God, it wasn't so prevalent as it is now. Whereas I think if you were to look into it now, things would be a little bit different. But you've had that year to figure out that it probably wouldn't do anything for you. So, wow, that was good. Oh, thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. Remember to find me. Remember to find me. 5 of them are lowercase is my name. Hold on, let me just. I just took a picture of your name, so I'll be able to check it out later. But yeah, the GLP-1s, I mean, for people, it works sometimes for a little period of time, but like we don't have enough long-term data to see how long that works, it shows that it tends to be that now nothing really happens anymore. Or what was I saying? Hold on. Brain just went dead. It seems that what happens now is people get off of the medication. You guys just saw a brain fart in real time. People get off the medication and pretty much immediately gain the weight back. So we're not seeing a lot of promising long-term results for that. A lot of people are getting off and, they're not really any worse for the wear. They just lost weight for a brief period of time and then gained all the weight back. And there's no long-term effects as far as we can see. So, if you just want to very briefly lose weight in a way that also kind of tends to cut muscle mass a little bit, you go ahead. But it doesn't stay. It doesn't stick around. And the only thing worse to me personally than being bigger was losing the weight and gaining it back, which I did a bunch of times. I would lose the weight and then I would gain it back and then I'd lose it. And God, so the first summer that I was losing weight, I felt great. I felt awesome. I was like, oh, this is cool. It's working. I barely even had to do anything. This is awesome. And then winter came around. It got cold. I stopped being outside so much. And my eating habits, picked up again because I didn't know to build lifestyle habits at that point. I didn't know what that looked like. So to have that just suddenly fall apart was devastating to me. And that was really the beginning of feeling really shitty about my body, was seeing it, what I had lost at the time. I had only lost 35 pounds or something of my 110, but gaining that back, see, because there's a difference in 35 pounds. You will see a difference. It may not be the most massive change in the world, especially for a guy of my height, but it was enough where I'm like, my face is smaller, my stomach sits a little bit lighter, my pants fit a little bit better, and then I gained all of it back. And that messed with me bad. So, I can only imagine that if they were to put me on a medication where I'm like, well, this was promised to fix all of my troubles permanently, and it's working for everybody. I would take the medication, it would not work for me, and then I would feel like even more of a failure because I was like, how am I the one person this doesn't work for? They just don't see all the failure stories all over the place because only the success stories are being published in magazines. And, you've got all the celebrities who are currently losing weight right now are doing it on Ozempic, but they've got personal trainers and chefs and consultants and people to talk to about it, So, which none of us have. So I'm just a guy. I don't know about you. I don't have a personal chef or a team of personal trainers. So I don't have anybody to talk to about this kind of thing. Well, now I do because I'm friends with a bunch of probably your favorite creators. But we don't talk about that stuff. I'm never reaching out to people who do this and saying hey, what's the best way to do this? Or we're just usually sending each other memes. So that's not even the kind of conversations that we're having behind the scenes. I have a friend who is pushing a lot of Ozempic or doctor visits related to my weight in a loving way, and I always told her that it's a me issue. I have to change within myself. No doctor can do that. I have to do that. What wonderful and also devastating insight to have about yourself. Because when I figured out that it was me, ultimately, it was there was part of that was freeing of okay, so it's not just the diets don't work for me or whatever. I'm not the one person that it doesn't work for. It's the fact that there's other things that are deeper in me to find, but that is very scary in itself. Having to reckon with the fact that I don't know what recovery looks like yet. But I know it's not down. I know recovery isn't just weight loss. It's happiness gain. Something has to come from it. Something has to be built on top of it. I have a physical goal. If you want to know, I'm pretty big, so if I convert to muscle mass, I think I could pull it off. So you can't convert fat to muscle mass, but you can build muscle mass and lose a little bit of fat for a period of time. That all being said, I wish that I had focused on strength training, or at least had a regimen of moderate strength training while I was losing weight, because I would have maintained muscle along the way. I lost so much muscle just losing weight and not doing anything for myself. Rob McElhinney has a great quote on that. Yes, he does. Yeah, because he got super fit for a movie at one point, and he was talking about like the fact that he hates. Oh, Hugh Jackman. I mean, that's an even more timely one right now. He hates being Wolverine. He likes the character and likes getting to do it, but like the conditioning that is required to be super lean on screen, he has gone on record as saying he hates. Jason Momoa, Aquaman, has talked about how much he hates it, and if you were to tell him to pull up his shirt now, he would just be kind of like a stockier, like strong but stockier guy, and he's totally happy that way. He's happy being as he is now. He doesn't have to be stage or movie lean all the time. It's I saw a video recently where there was an exercise professional, of some kind. I don't know if he was a trainer or what. But he was talking about like the things that Hugh Jackman has to do to maintain his on-screen body would kill you long term, because it requires days of dehydration. It requires days of not eating anything, working out strenuously and just being like super weak for the day that it requires you to be shirtless. Living that way or aspiring to look the way that someone who does that looks is deadly. You can't look like that. And this one hits particularly close to home because for a long time on my journey, Wolverine was my benchmark. That's what I wanted to look like, was Wolverine at his peak. So like that one, to see that specifically and to see all the discourse about his body now, I've had time to deal with it and think about it. But now, like, or a year ago rather, if this same conversation was happening, I think it would have hurt me a little bit. I'm finally starting to put my foot down with myself. I am not fully there, but I just affirmed to myself it's not worth feeling like this anymore. Katie, that's wonderful. Not wonderful that you feel that way, but wonderful that you're having these really hard, really important conversations. Because it's hard. I want to go horseback riding again. I want to ride a roller coaster again. I want to be able to wear dress boots again. Well, you're on your way. You were just telling me before about how you're on your way. I know it doesn't feel like it's coming all that quickly, but you're doing it. When I was talking about like what does progress look like a year from now, I could not have imagined I would be where I am now. Or if I went to the beginning of my journey and Mike at 265 pounds and told him like, you were going to help other people lose weight one day, I'd be like, I'm fat. The fuck are you talking about? Let me get back to my pizza burrito. Which is, I would order a large meat lover's pizza from Papa John's and I'd roll it up like a burrito. I'd eat it in my car on the way home from ordering it and picking it up. Oh, God, the comparisons to online and movie characters is so relatable. I've gotten better with it, but that's just a big thing for a long time. Yeah, because that's all of our media. That's all obviously magazines aren't a thing anymore, but honestly, the magazines were less intrusive because they didn't just pop up on a doom rectangle that we have in front of our faces all the time. And also there's so much editing. Like obviously there's always been editing, but the editing that they're able to do on Instagram and that they consistently do, any model that you see on Instagram is lying. All of them. Even the fitness people. Even like, hey, this is my hey, be kind to yourself. All the other people who are very facetiously saying that and don't actually fucking mean it and have never had to lose any weight, they're just trying to appeal to people like us who struggled with something in their lives. They're photoshopping all their shit too, or they just know how to pose and they take the right picture. Even the ones where it's like, hey, this is what an unposed, unedited picture looks like, and it's just them slumping over, but they have 0% body fat. And they still look really good. And then they'll show the posed picture, because of course they have to have the after. They can't just have an unedited, unposed picture there alone. They need to prove that they're still hot enough for you to follow. That's all facetious too, and misleading. It's awful. So I had a take on that one where I'm like, well, I'm just going to film a video from, like, I'm going to put my phone here down on my lap, and I'm going to film upwards, and I'm just going to let my stomach hang over my belt. And that was a very controversial video for the wrong reasons. I was hoping that it would start a conversation, because I start the video by saying, here's what a person looks like. You've seen my other, if you want to see my after picture, you go ahead and look it up. It's there. All you're getting right now is just me at my worst angle. That's all you're going to get. And it was devastating what ended up happening there. It was like if Mr. Rogers had whipped out his cock on TV. Like, it was so bad. It's like if he were to look, everybody's got one of these. You don't have to be ashamed of yours. Some are long, some are small. Some even have a little extra skin around the top. But yours is perfect exactly the way it is. There would be like major backlash. That's what happened. And so anyone who saw that video, I'm sorry. I was not socialized in a society that valued me as a sexual being. So like I just logged my food today, and 4 perfect weeks of logging food. It says that January 1st I should have lost 100 pounds. Diet only, of course. Well, that 100 pounds is over the course of like a year or two, right? Definitely not 100 pounds between like now and then, because that would be super unhealthy. Because as a plus-sized woman, I didn't feel totally attractive. It wasn't just weight, but it was a big contribution. So comparing myself to other people was a huge piece of my life. We're always comparing, always. And they always say, don't compare yourself. People who, again, are genetically perfect. Don't compare yourself. Comparison is the thief of joy. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. You're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to talk about your body at all. Get out of here. Go hang out with the other Greek gods. We're just regular people here trying to get by. You don't get to talk about body positivity when you've never had to work towards being positive towards your body. That's not fair. But they did just pop up at the stores, Men's Health magazines. Oh, God, the Men's Health magazines were awful. Their message is, be kind to the skinnier version of your... Oh! Hold on, Bailey she didn't just drop the mic, she like slammed it into the ground. Their message is, be kind to the skinnier version of yourself, not the person who brought you there. Wow. No, that's real. That's super real. Or it's almost just like, oh, you're okay. That's okay. Like, you might be fat, but you're okay. Like, it's really patronizing. It's okay that you're fat and disgusting, and that, because, you know, at Alpha Land in Houston, our gym has a bodyguard that doesn't let anybody in who's got 20% body fat and rejects them at the door so that we can all record our videos in the gym and be unaccosted by fucking pigs. You should feel good about yourself. Their message is, be kind to the skinnier version of yourself, not the person who brought you there. And that is especially true towards the people who are still working towards the skinnier version of themselves. It's always, well, you can't be happy until you're skinny. Once you've lost all the weight, then you've earned the right to be happy with yourself. Then you're allowed to. You can't before that, because if you're happy before that, then you're just lazy. You're just shitty. Thank you for that quote, Bailey. That's awesome. Some are long, some are small. Some have an extra ball. the only people that say, oh, you're okay, are people who believe they're above you. Oh, right. Yeah. It's like when I talk about my be kind to yourself message, I'm never erasing the struggles of people who are dealing with this stuff. Like, to look at somebody and say, well, you're not bigger. So they're like, yeah, we hang out with big people, Kurt. Like, that's the way it is. So it's reductive and wrong to tell somebody that, like, you know, I don't see the weight. Yeah, of course we see it. Of course it's there. Otherwise, what is there to work on, or what is there to change? But it's more so changing the focus to being like, what put that there? What created the weight? It's up here. Yeah, we can focus on just the body, but then the mind is going to be left wanting. But yeah, the only people who say, oh, you're okay, are people who believe they're above you. It feels patronizing. It just really does. I'm going to hang out for a couple more minutes, then I got to pop out of here because I've been trying to keep these to an hour, but I just love talking with you guys so much. I just can't stop. When I say I'm fat and they say, no, you're beautiful, to be fair, I said I said I was fat, not ugly, but let me reread that really quick just to have that clean. When I said I'm fat and they say, no, you're beautiful, to be fair, I said I was fat, not ugly, but thanks. Yeah, because that's the correlation in our minds. It's like when we say that we're fat, we're saying that we're ugly, or we're saying that we're unpresentable or something. You know, and there are people that prefer all manners of bodies, no matter who you are. Exactly as you are, there is someone out there who you are their type, down to the atom, you know, down to every detail, no matter what. Beauty standards are bullshit. The way that we're supposed to look is complete bullshit because those people aren't even real. The beauty standards are what we've created on a computer and edited using Photoshop. Those are not human beings. Forbid we be both fat and ugly. I must be a menace to society. Hey, Bailey, hey. Shut the fuck up. Stop being mean to my friend Bailey. Right. What's astounding to me are the subconscious lesser treatment that we as a society have towards heavier people. I've talked about this. Compare hugs you've received as a heavy person versus as a normal sized person. Oh, you give the greatest hugs. You know, I just feel so safe. It's so warm. It's like hugging a bear. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. It's awful. Oh, I was always the good hugger. I know what that meant. The thing is, these aren't people that are like just trying to bury a compliment under something unfortunate or something. They really do mean it. But like, we know where it's coming from. We know where it's coming from. I haven't been able to hit my protein, so I made cookies and cream and protein powder milkshakes. It tastes so good, but I felt guilty eating it. Why? It sounds like it's good. You're hitting your protein? Are you making it out of like real milkshakes, or like where it's 2,000 calories for a serving of it, or does it just taste good? Because something tasting good or feeling good doesn't mean it's bad for you. That's not dieting. That's Catholicism. I've also had the token hug with a pat on the back. Ooh. I really don't want to touch you hug. Oh, we're doing the home run of things that fat guys got to deal with. We're just going back to back with all this stuff. Everything here hits really hard, Kurt. I was goofing around with Snapchat filters the other day, and the what would you look like in the 90s made me look super slim. It was strange to look at. Oh, yeah, because slimness was a disease back in it. Do you guys remember the early 2000s and all the movies where like there'd always be a character, always a younger girl, who was a normal-sized human being. Like, and I'm not saying this as like, oh, this is an exception. They're actually larger. But like, no, this is like someone that today we would consider skinny. That back then the running joke was that she was the fat girl. Like, oh, here comes Jennifer, fucking pig. Fat piece of shit. Look at you. And she was just like a skinny person who would come in. But like maybe you couldn't see her ribs. And that's what made her fat. So like, yeah, it's just a relic of the times. I've had a lot of I go in for the 2-arm hug and they just go in for the side hug because they don't want to touch me. Yeah, that's true. Well, and they're also, just mind you, there are some people that just don't like hugs. That is a factor. They're just people that are not huggers. By the way, if any of you ever see me in person, understand that you can hug me. You don't have to ask. I am a hugger, so I always ask. But if you go in for the hug, I will reciprocate that. It's ice cream, which is unhealthy and bad in my head. Okay, well, is this happening like every day? Ice cream. I just had ice cream the other day. I had a big double brownie ice cream sundae from one of my favorite places around here because I really wanted it. And I have it from time to time. First time in weeks, you're fine. If I can do it, you can do it too. That's okay. Go ahead and have it. Now, I used to have 2 pints of Ben & Jerry's a night at my peak. That wasn't good, not because it's, I'm guilty or bad for doing it, but because it's objectively not good for my health goals. Because in a single pint of Ben & Jerry's, you're having 1,200 calories. Calories don't equal bad. It's just that's a lot of calories for not that much food. So I'm not going to be satisfied. I'm not going to be full. I'm not going to hit my protein goals because that's not a solid source of protein. So it's going to be much harder for me to hit my protein goals if I'm constantly having ice cream all the time. Did I hit my protein goals the day that I had that ice cream? I have no fucking idea. And I don't really care. Because I hit I'm about to hit my protein goals today when I hit my my dinner, for sure. But I'm not living this life without ice cream and cheesecake and pizza. It's not going to happen. Catch me dead. The handshake or the high five, because apparently being heavy is contagious. I wish COVID would have killed the handshake because I don't like it. It's just like it's kind of gross. Okay. Oh, Kurt's going to give us a positive one. As a person who has had the terrible hugs, I now go out of my way to give really sincere hugs regardless of who it is. Kurt, you exude that like good hug energy for sure. I can just see it in your face. Like I would see you across the room and I'd just be like, oh, there we go. I'm home now. Everything's good because Kurt's here. We're all good. I can't wait to, we'll hang out eventually. I know it. Exudes good hug energy. Put that on the resume, bud. That's yours. But I want to substitute normal sweets for high protein, low sugar sweets. I love sweets and sours. Oh, me too. Yeah, there's all sorts of stuff you can do about that for sure. You look up one-to-one replace. My buddy Noah, who Kurt mentioned up in the top, I forgot that he mentioned Noah, the biggest fella. If you type in the biggest fella on Instagram, he's got a list of 300 lower calorie food swaps that you can get, and that's totally for free. So get on there. I can't go without my popsicles. You'll have to pry them out of my cold, dead hands. But I have to get down to 2 a day instead of 6 to 8. That's great. And honestly, those popsicles, depending on the ones that you get, there are some popsicles that like not low calorie ones, not like low sugar ones or whatever, but they're just actually literally 50 to 100 calories. They're not that bad. Or not that heavy in terms of calories. See, even I have to correct myself from time to time. That's good. You enjoy it, don't change a damn thing. Food swaps, big fella. Yeah. Outshine. Oh, yeah, Outshine is a popsicle frozen treat, as the popsicle company would like us to call it, because they run the risk of losing their trademark if we keep calling everything popsicles. Yeah, I think that's a brand. But anyhow, I gotta pop on out of here because I could spend 20,000 years talking to all of you guys, and I appreciate that so much. If you have not checked out this week's podcast, I would implore you to do so. If you have a question you would like me to answer on the podcast, plus a shout out with your name in it on the Mike Needs a Plan podcast, you can put that in the Discord group in the channel called Podcast Questions. So, and I try to do one every week. I've been doing one every week here for a little while, and I try to spin the rest of the episode into that question if I can, which I just did this week. So you got time. I record them on Wednesday when I put them out, so you've got time to get your question in. I'll see you guys soon. Be kind to yourselves. Thank you.